and ready to cause trouble in the markets. All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to the morning market update for this beautiful Monday, October 28th of 2019. This is George Papazov, Trade Pro Academy. Whoa, the camera's close today. I got scared. And we're going to talk about a few things today. First and foremost, this is the last week of October. Then we kick off the next month in November. And it's the second last month of the year. So things are heating up. This is a very important, jam-packed week full of news, economic events, earnings, and a whole lot else. All right. First, let's start off with something very important for the day traders. We had a time zone adjustment over the weekend out of the UK. So the New York time zone and UK are now 4 hours apart, which means the US and European overlap is longer for the next 2 weeks by 1 hour. So instead of European markets closing at 11:30, European markets now close 1 hour later at 12:30 in the US session. So we get during this overlap to trade more of the Euro US overlap without having to wake up earlier. And that's exciting news. So you could expect to see volatility later on as traders start to take lunch later just to adjust for the schedule. That's effective as of right now. All right. Today, the market closed at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. 8:48, Donald Trump sends out a tweet he says, Trump, we are looking to be ahead of schedule to sign phase 1 U.S.-China deal. All right. In a reaction, the S&P 500 goes to a new level. All right. And it trades to 3,034, which is an all-time high by 4.5 points on the futures. So this is it. It's a record morning. S&P 500's hit an all-time high, fresh, never traded at this level before, surpassing the highs in earlier, later on. I think it was in August of this year. All right. So off the fresh highs. That's important. In other news, Brexit deadline extended to 31st of January. The EU's agreed to extend the Brexit by 3 months, but they're giving it a flextension. It's a cute little word. It's a flexible extension. Donald Tusk, the EU Council president, said that they're going to extend it, which means that the UK could leave the European zone with an agreement earlier than the deadline if they come to an agreement in Parliament. So basically, it means it could be any time between this Thursday and January 31st of 2020. That moves away the deadline from Thursday, right? So this was one of the tension points for the market. It's been delayed and the bucket's been kicked down the road with this Brexit fiasco. Donald Trump says China-US deal is getting close to be signed, phase 1. That prompts the stock market to go ahead and rally higher. All right. The House's impeachment inquiry resumes today with another slate of witnesses going to testify, see whether or not Donald Trump had a pro quid quo on the situation with Ukraine and withholding aid for his personal political benefit. That continues today in the House. Look to hear some more of this. This has an ability to disrupt the markets a little bit. Right now, we're a strong bid on the open and bullish. All right. In other news, luxury house Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. I'm a big fan. I love their products. I don't own the stock. I used to. Then I sold it, a little bit of it, not too much. Now I just buy the product. So if you own the stock, I'm helping you out. I love the designs. I love their swag and merchandise. All right. Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy bids $14.5 billion for Tiffany. They want to buy the jewelry maker. That's $120 a share offer, which is 22% above its Friday closing price. It's up 20% this morning pre-market. All right. Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy owns Louis Vuitton, obviously, Moet Hennessy. In addition to that, Givenchy, which is another fashion brand, iconic fashion brand in Paris. All right. Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy CEO confirmed they have preliminary talks with the jeweler. All right. But Tiffany can at any time reject the offer. Analyst Oliver Chan said that it deserves a valuation closer to Bulgari or Versace, which is $160 a share. So it could be a little bit of low ball offer to kick off the conversations. But there you have it. Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy is trying to buy Tiffany. That's news. Tiffany's up big pre-market. All right. Other companies that are expected to have a lot of volatility. Here's the earnings calendar this week. Today we have AT&T, Spotify, and Walgreens have already reported. At the market close, we have one massive name, T-Mobile. That's not it. And Google. Alphabet Inc. is dropping earnings today after the bell. You better believe that's going to have an impact on the stock market, especially the tech-heavy NASDAQ index. All right. So if you got a NASDAQ trade as a swing trader, unless you know the earnings outcome, I would recommend that you take some profit and reduce the size of your trade, but you're comfortable with major movement that you don't know where it's going to go. All right, a lot of times people want to get long before the earnings event. It's a silly strategy that doesn't work out in the long term. I'll tell you why. That assumes you know the report. All right. It's not whether or not the company beats, it's what traders make of the report. I've seen companies beat huge because revenue is lower and guidance is weaker, it gets punished down 15%. You're scratching your head saying, oh, it beat earnings and that was long. Well, it's more complicated than that, unfortunately. So the only time you can be long before an earnings event is if you know the report, which is illegal. I don't want to know about it. All right. On Tuesday, we have Merck & Co., MasterCard, GM, and AMD reporting. Wednesday, pre-market, ADP and CME, which is the exchange that we trade on. After market close on Wednesday, we get a big round of earnings. Facebook, Starbucks, and Apple. Those companies are reporting after the bell, and that's going to cause a lot of volatility in NASDAQ specifically and markets abroad because they're big companies. Thursday, we have Kraft Heinz, Altria, Fiat Chrysler. And Friday, we have after the market close, before market open, Exxon and Chevron, the two oil giants. Okay. In today's markets, Japan's up 0.3%, Hong Kong's up 0.8%, China's up 0.8%, India's closed. In Europe at midday, London's down 0.4, Paris is down 0.16, Frankfurt flat for the day, and in the United States, Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ are all opening positive, up about 1/3 of a percentage point. All right, and the rally continues. Crude oil down 0.6% to 56.32, although no longer there. It's rallied into the open and holding the open at the moment, holding above the open. We're trading at the previous day high at the moment, 56.73 bid now, 4 bid. Some resistance above at the 85s. All right, so crude continues its momentum to the upside. Gold is up 0.3% as well, although it sold off quite a bit right off this open. Open at 1506.30. Traded down to the opening range low of 1499.60, which is below the 1500 overnight low. So gold has a little bit of weak structure to it as these equities ramp to all-time highs. Not a surprise. All right, Bitcoin, big winner over the weekend. It was up massive, up another 1.5% today at 9,400. Chinese investors bought every blockchain-related stock that get their hands on after President Xi said that Beijing wants to speed up development of the technology. All right, more than 60 tech shares in China surged by their daily limit because there's daily limits in stocks in China, kind of like the futures in the Unidated States. All right, they have limit up, limit downs. All right, caused a big jump in Bitcoin, obviously. All right, and companies related to Bitcoin, the whole cryptocurrency complex is riding on a high wave on that news. All right, 10-year Treasury yields up 3 basis points this morning. We're going to have this morning a 10:30 Dallas Fed manufacturing survey. Not a big event, but it could be a market mover. And look at the economic calendar for this week. Let's review it very quickly. All right, tomorrow we have consumer confidence at 10 a.m. Important. All right, Wednesday, blockbuster of a day with volatility. Wednesday morning, we have at 8:15 ADP non-farm employment numbers. This is a precursor, an important reading for the more important non-farm payrolls on Friday, which I'll get to in a second. 8:30 advanced GDP for the United States. 10 a.m. Bank of Canada monetary policy. All right, followed by 11:15 Bank of Canada press conference. We'll be trading the Canadian dollar futures in our trading room, so represent a lot of opportunity. All right, 2 p.m. FOMC statement, federal funds rate, and then at 2:30 Jerome Powell does a press conference where the Fed's believed to be cutting rates this week. All right, 9 p.m. manufacturing PMI out of China on Wednesday. That's the whole day. Massive. All right, massive day. Thursday, we get GDP out of Canada, personal spending in the U.S., manufacturing PMI out of China once again. Friday all day, we have French and Italy bank holidays, so the European session will be a little bit quieter. But then we have the all-important non-farm payrolls number at 8:30 in the morning. Okay, we have average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and the headline number of the and then the unemployment rate. That we're going to be trading with our elite members in the room. 10 a.m. ISM manufacturing, and that wraps up the week. And in between there, sprinkle in the earnings of Facebook, Apple, Google, Starbucks, and you get an idea. This is going to be a blockbuster week. A lot of movement. It'll be a pivotal week for the markets, I think, for the remainder of the year, especially the Fed event. All right. So we're kicking it off. A lot of volatility from economic calendars, from earnings potential, from geopolitical events at the moment on the wire, and add in on the fact that Europe is going to overlap with the U.S. for longer. Got the makings of an amazing day trading room. You don't have to trade alone. I invite you guys to join us for a trading room. This is one heck of a week. Oh, Wednesday, oil inventory too, just for fun. All right. Join us, trade this week with somebody. The most dangerous thing in the world is to trade alone in your bedroom. Ask me how I know, and I'll explain to you. All right. But I can tell you that for a fact. The most dangerous is to trade. So join us, join our trading room, see what we do. And on a daily basis, we trade with professionals, like professionals, and answer your questions in real time. I'll see you in there. I got to go right now and open up the trading room I was just telling you about. A lot of people waiting to get started, get some levels, and trade for the day. All right. Take care, guys. YouTube, see you tomorrow. Send you love, joy, and happiness. Stay out of trouble. See you in the morning. Goodbye. Trade pros in the room. I'm going to send it over to our Atlanta oil desk. Let's hear about oil because it's open at the moment, selling off below the open at this point. Some support to the downside, but I'll flip it over to our oil desk in ATL. All right, let me find them. YouTube, I bid you farewell. I know I turned my back to you. I'm not turning my back on you. I'm just turning it to you. Goodbye, YouTube. We love you. Doing well, box yourself. How was the weekend?